So, welcome back to another episode of the Business Corner. I am your host, Teresa Lundy, and today we have the opportunity to speak with the president of Temple University, John Fry. John, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Teresa. Looking forward to our conversation.
Yeah, me too. I'm a Temple alum, so class of 2014, and I was very excited to know someone with your caliber is now coming over to be our president. You've been in this seat for the past year. What are some of the opportunities ahead for Temple University?
I mean, there are so many opportunities. To me, the most, well, first of all, I should say incredibly privileged to have this job, really lucky, and the Temple community, so many wonderful people, smart, hardworking, really, really committed to mission. So to the question of opportunity, I think that there's not an institution better situated in terms of its mission right now, I believe, in higher education than Temple. We're the public university for the sixth largest city in the United States. We're the public health system for that city as well. We have a well-known and esteemed mission of access and excellence. And, in light of all the things that are happening in our country and in the world, we are a place that welcomes all. I mean, our goal is to provide opportunities for everyone who wants to engage in education and also be well taken care of by our doctors and nurses and the great medical staff that we have at our 6 hospitals, including Fox Chase Cancer Center. So I think our opportunity is inherent in our mission, which is to reach out, to bring people in, and to work with them to help them, fulfill their expectations, but also their promise and their potential. And Teresa, not only is that for people who engage directly with Temple, but also our surrounding neighborhoods, which is extremely important because they're part of what we do as well, and hopefully we're part of what they do.
And I'm so glad you talked about the surrounding neighborhoods and the community, because that was going to be my next question, is how important it is for Temple to maintain those strong relationships and partnerships with the community.
Well, it's essential. And again, I started with mission. I would submit that that's part of our mission as well. It's not only teaching and research, but it's service to our community. Mm-hmm. So we can't really be Temple in the way in which we want to be Temple without really leaning into those communities. And when you take a look at the things that we're doing, and we can go through some of the specifics, we're deeply committed to K through 12 education in our surrounding areas. And we have so many great programs in place. The most recent one, Temple Future Scholars, where we start working with kids in 7th grade, guide them through middle school and high school with a whole bunch of supports and programs and summer experiences and things like that. And then hopefully through the Temple Promise, which is our scholarship program, they end up going to Temple. So we're working with kids as early as 7th grade, and in many other cases, primarily through our College of Education and Human Development, we're working with them, right around the time they come into preschool. So education, fundamental. I'd say affordable housing is going to be another emphasis that we make. Improving commercial corridors so that people have access to fresh food and all sorts of other amenities that every community deserves to have. Job training is important, and then also access to the arts. And your alma mater, Klein, is going to be moving into a wonderful new home in 2027. The Kimmel Pavilion, which will serve Klein, Boyer, and our Temple Center for Performing Arts. And so those are the 5 things that I think make for strong communities. If Temple can give access and support to its surrounding neighborhoods to those 5 things, we'll have done something special. And we are very, very committed to it. It's part of our mission.
I'm just excited just sitting here listening to it. Some things and then some things you read about later, but totally appreciate you actually saying all these wonderful things. And, one thing I did read about is you talked about Temple distinguishing itself in 3 areas. The first one was student success. Discovery was the second, with creativity and innovation, and comprehensive place-based work. So tell us why these are important for Temple success.
Well, this setup is that, all new presidents are asked, what's your vision for the university? And I'm not presumptuous. It took me a while to sort of listen and learn and begin to absorb what the community was telling me about what they wanted to see for Temple in the future. So my vision is really a reflection of all those hundreds and hundreds of conversations. So what I came down to is this: Temple University should be known as one of the top 10 public urban research universities in the United States. That is, from where we are right now, that is a lofty goal, but it's an achievable goal. And so in service to becoming one of the top 10 public urban research universities in the country, I think there are three fundamental things that we need to do. The first is continue to recruit a diverse and talented student body, provide the right kind of financial aid so that they are secure in being able to pay for their education, and then making sure every step along the way they are supported, prepared, well taught. They have internship experiences. They have great on-campus student activities, recreation, intramurals, whatever the thing is that they're interested in, and that they have internships that position them to think about their future life after Temple, and then eventually they graduate and go on and take part in American life in a productive way, both from an economic perspective, but also from a civic perspective. So job one is to make sure that the incredibly talented kids that we recruit, and we just recruited, by the way, our largest class in the history of Temple.
Congratulations.
Yeah, which is 5,300 and I think 79 students.
Wow. Okay.
Which is
So there's be a lot of owls on the streets.
There can be a lot of owls on the streets, and 49% of that cohort of owls are the first in their families to go to college.
Wow.
Which also says something about us sort of fulfilling our mission. So job one, student success. Job two is what I would talk about, the sort of creation of knowledge. We're not only transmitting knowledge through teaching and through degree programs, but we're also very, very focused on creating knowledge, doing something that places haven't done before. And the creative part through Boyer, through Klein, through Tyler, through performing arts work is essential. The research that we do across all disciplines, social sciences, natural sciences, humanities, physical sciences, and especially in healthcare, where we have a gigantic footprint in the health space. Innovations around basically helping people live longer, higher quality lives, and work that we're doing on our campus through research support that we receive from the federal government and through corporations and foundations is essential, so that at the end we can say Temple regularly contributes to new knowledge, and that's part of what we do. So that's the second thing. And the third thing is the place-based work, of course, is the continued development of our beautiful campuses. We have one in Center City that is brand new, the Terra building. We have our main campus, and then we have our health sciences campuses. So we want to improve those three campuses, and we can talk about ways in which we can do that. But we also want to connect them along Broad Street and have Broad Street also be known as the Temple campus. Yeah. Far south as Broad and Walnut, and far north as Broad and Allegheny. That should be our sort of reference point. And so the place-based work occurs on our campuses, on that corridor, and as we discussed about previously, in the surrounding neighborhoods. Place-based impact. So you can actually go, see, touch, and really sort of understand the progress that we're helping foster through all the various things that we do. That's the place-based work. Those are the three core parts of that vision.
You know what? And that vision sounds like it takes a whole bunch of fundraising. So that brings me to 2034. That is a great year where Temple University turns 150 years old. And because of that, I know there was some of the projects that you mentioned and some of the buildings that are being built and that are being restructured inside of our Temple community. What is that campaign all about? Tell us about it. How we can get involved, how we can support it. I think we already heard a lot about where the use is going to be, but just tell us about the plan.
So we have a goal of between $1 billion and $1.5 billion.
I'm sorry, we got to say the number one more time.
I'm sorry, we have a working goal between $1 billion and $1.5 billion.
I want people to know that it's not $1 million; it's $1 billion.
No, it's $1 billion,
Okay.
and we're zeroing in on that. So The year that just ended, the fiscal year that just ended on June 30th of 25, we raised $133 million. That's a record. The 5 previous years, we exceeded $100 million in each of those years. So that demonstrates to me that we have a good base to work from.
Right.
What we have to do is take that base of, say, raising between 100 and 130 million a year and start to move that up to closer to 200 a year. So that really is what we're going to try to achieve during this campaign, is have a regular production of $200 million years, because that hopefully then becomes our norm and that stretches into the future. So when you do the math on that, that's how you get to the billion and to the billion and a half. One of the ways in which you can accelerate these kind of campaigns is have some early votes of confidence. So we were pleased to announce the naming gift for the Kimmel Pavilion, thanks to Sydney and Caroline Kimmel. That's the largest gift in our history. Believe me, we're working on a bunch of others, hopefully with some good news being announced soon. Those anchor gifts are critical, because when people see amazing philanthropists and people have been so successful in life, like Caroline and Sydney, making that kind of gift from a place, by the way, that neither graduated from. Sydney attended for a brief period of time. But when people in our alumni body in particular, or in foundations, see smart people making big gifts to a place like ours, that certainly is going to pull more people onto the playing field. So I think getting 3, 4, 5 momentum gifts early on in the next couple of years is going to be critical. And then we have the advantage of almost 300,000 living alumni, 200,000 of whom are in this area. Actually, it's more like 380,000 living alumni, with 200,000 in the Philadelphia area. So it's true, owls are everywhere. We have to go get those owls, and we got to bring them. We got to bring them into the fold, and we got to start talking to people about what they can do to help. And look, all we do is ask people to start where they can. Whatever you can do, it really actually doesn't matter to me, as long as they get in the habit of giving every year. And I would submit one of the best ways of doing that is to give to scholarships, because those 49% first-gen kids especially are going to need our support financially to get there. And what better way to pay forward the gift of a Temple education like you had with a regular gift, to say, you know what, I'm going to support someone like me who hopefully is going to support someone like them, going forward. And there are capital projects, and there's all sorts of academic program and research grants. But to me, like, nothing more fulfilling than helping someone along in their own educational journey.
I agree. And also, it's nothing more exciting to see internal giving. And I always say, sometimes if it's not financial, it's your time. Do you know 10 others? Pick up the phone and see if they want to support.
Yeah, or give our students an internship opportunity.
Absolutely.
Use your network to help out. Even attending games and events. I mean, my students tell me how much they appreciate when they see people like me and so many others coming to watch a concert. And do other things like that. It validates them. And so I think if showing up, using your network, giving whatever you can, you do those 3 things, multiply that by hundreds of thousands of alumni, we're going to get to our goal.
John, you've been at Temple University for more than a year. I have to know, what have you learned so far?
Well, I've learned obviously a lot about the institution from so many people who have been kind enough to give me their time and share their wisdom. And I've been out every single day since I've been here, just walking around, learning, trying to sort of get a bird's eye view of the place. But I think what I've learned the most, and maybe it would have been obvious to someone who had been at Temple or attended Temple like you did, is how absolutely sincere and deeply committed people are to the place. Yes, to their jobs, yes, to their colleagues, but really the idea of Temple, what it stands for, ever since it opened in 1884, the fact that that is still what we do with great consistency and commitment. We talked earlier about the 49% of this first-year class being first generation. That is so Conwellian. And so I think what I've learned is that people are there for a higher purpose. And as a result, they're able to do extraordinary work because they're doing something that's personal. It's like it's a family thing almost. And so I think I've learned that, and I think that is the jet fuel for our university. And the other thing I've learned is how absolutely impactful Temple is economically to this region. So between the university and the health system, we're the fourth largest employer in the city, obviously one of the most important anchor institutions. And, my work on the board of the Philadelphia Fed and at the Chamber of Commerce, when Temple shows up and when Temple makes a commitment to something, it's just, people so respect what we do, and they so want us to be even more engaged, which is why I think these commitments to the community, whether it be in North Philly or in the region or across the Commonwealth, are so important, because when Temple shows up, good things happen. So I think those are the two things that I've learned the most.
You know what? I appreciate you so much. I think there has been a forward, fresh vision that this city need, and not just the university, but the surrounding neighborhoods. So definitely appreciate your time, your talents, and your commitment, not only to the students, but the institution and the neighborhoods at large.
Thanks, Teresa. It's been a great conversation.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.